Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make the multi-panel accordion fold card. At least that's what I'm calling it. So at my Glitter Queens retreat this past August, we made this card and Sheila Myers, one of my Glitter Queens that attended our event, brought this for all of us to make. And we were just like so gaga over the card. But let me show you the inside. So you're going to open up your card. Now don't be afraid of this card. I know it looks very intimidating, but it's so easy. Just follow each step and I'm going to walk you through everything, okay? Okay, so this is the inside and it's so awesome. So this was the Halloween version and I had all intentions to make the Christmas version, but today we're going to make a Valentine's version of this card and it's so amazing. All your friends are going to be so impressed with your card, I'm telling you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here is the Valentine version that we're going to make today. Isn't it beautiful? And these faceted gems that are in the new mini catalog are so beautiful in real life. Oh my gosh. So let's open up this one to show you what this looks like inside. Look how pretty. Oh my gosh. I love it. All right, so like I said, it looks very intimidating, but trust me, it's really easy. It's just a lot of die cutting, really. I think that's the most time-consuming part of this card is the die cutting, and so I went ahead and did all that beforehand. So I'm just going to show you step by step on how to make the card so we can finish it. All right, so let me give you the measurements. So now I'm using the Whisper White, and this comes in a 12 by 12 pack. Very Vanilla is also available. So you're going to need one piece cut at 5.5 by 12, and then another piece cut at 4.5 by 5.5. All right, so I'm going to set those aside. We're going to score those together. And then you're going to need 2 more pieces of the Whisper White. Now mind you, you can use any color of the 12 by 12. I'm just using Whisper White because it kind of coordinates with our Valentine theme. So, all right, so now the 2 other pieces of the Whisper White. This piece is cut at 3.25 by 9. And then you'll need another piece cut at 3.25 by 8.5. Okay, so you're going to have a 1/2 inch longer, but we're going to score that. All right, so now let's move on to the other layers of the card. All right, so this piece is for the front. So you're gonna need 6 real red pieces, and these are all cut at 3.75 by 5.25. Okay, and then this is for the front. So I'm just gonna take one for the front, and then you'll need a piece of Whisper White, and this piece is cut at 3.5 by 5. And then let's see here. This piece is cut at, let me see. This piece is cut at 2.25 by 4, and then this piece is cut at 2 by 3.5. Okay, so this is going to layer on the bottom section like that. All right. Okay, so then you're going to need squares. We're going to use the Flirty Flamingo, and you're going to need 6 squares. And these are cut at 2.5 by 3. You need 6 of those. Okay, so then you're going to need 4 Whisper White pieces, and these are cut at 2.25 by 2.75, and then also 2 of the From My Heart designer paper, and these are also cut at 2.25 by 2.75. And then I'm also using the brand new heart doilies. These are in the 2020 mini catalog right now. All right, so let's grab our trimmer. We're going to do some scoring. So we're going to start with this little piece. Remember, this is your 4.5 by 5.5 piece. We're going to score this at 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to fold this. We're going to put some tear and tape on that. Out of the longest pieces of the Whisper White, remember these are 3.25 by 9, which is the one we're going to score, and then the other one's 3.25 by 8.5. So we're going to score this one at 8.5. All right, so we're going to bring in the trimmer again. So I'm just going to set that aside. I'm going to grab some tear and tape. And we're going to go ahead and put some tear and tape on the 1/2 inch score lines on both of these smaller pieces. I thought I brought my take your pick tool, but I don't see it over here because I'm going to need that towards the end of the project. All right, so on this piece, we're going to take our larger base piece. We're going to attach these 2 together right on the end. I like to attach it on one end right up to that score line, and then fold that over and then crease it down so it really adheres really nice to it. Let me grab my bone folder. Okay, so there's the larger piece. Now let's do this piece here. Same thing. I'm just going to line the one edge up along the score line and then adhere that down and then fold it over so I know that that's really nice and lined up. All right, so let's grab our trimmer again. We're going to do some more scoring. All right, now we're going to score this longer panel here. Remember, this is the 5.5 inch wide. So we're going to score in increments of 4. So we're going to score at 4 and 8. So now this panel over here on this end is already at 4. Okay, so 4 and 8. Let me show you here. So see how this is already at 4 inches because this was cut at 4.5, and then we scored it at 4. So this is 4, and then you're going to fold it like an accordion style here, just like that. Okay, so now your card, well, we're actually just going to go like this. Let me fold it the other way. I just didn't want that seam, this seam right here, to be in the front. So this is what your finished base card will look like, okay? So it will look like an M, okay? All right, now let's score the insert part of the card. We're going to score this at 2 3/4, 5.5. Then we're going to turn it around, score at the opposite end, same way. So 2 3/4 and 5.5. Okay. All right, now this is what we're going to use for our dies. Let me grab them really quick. All right, so I'm using the rectangle stitched dies, and we're starting from the largest right here on my magnetic platform. And then we're going to count down from the outside edge of the largest die, and we're going to count in the 4th, 5th, and 6th smallest size ends. So this is how they, nestle together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use number 5, and I've already done all this die cutting, so I'm just showing you exactly what to do. So what you're going to do is on each panel of the 4-inch on the base of the card, you're going to take your number 5 die here, and you're just going to center it in the center of each of the panels. Okay, so you're going to cut that one, this one, and this one. So when you're done, you should have 4 rectangles, frames cut out of your base of your card, okay? And then you're also going to cut, now with my real red, I've gone ahead and just done one of them. But remember, you're going to use one of them for the back and then one for the front, okay? So you're going to cut out 6 total. So here are my 4 for each of my panels of my card. So what you're going to do after you cut your panels with the number 5 die, then you're going to take your real red cardstock and you're going to use your number 4 and number 6 die, and you're going to cut out a frame. I'm going to cut that out in the center. Just nestle those two together. Okay. And then you're going to run those through the die cutting machine, all right? And you're going to do all 4 panels like this. So when you cut it out, it's going to look like this, okay? And then you're going to leave the 2, one for the front and one for the back. You're not going to cut those. You're just going to cut the 4 inside panels, okay? So I have one that's done. Let me show you that. Okay, so here is the one that I started on. Let me show you the inside card here. Okay, so these are my 4 panels with the real red, cut with the 4 and the 6th inch die, and then the Whisper White is cut out with the 5th size. Okay, so remember, we're going to use the dies, the rectangle stitch dies, and we're counting from the largest down. So 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one would be that one, the 5th one, and then the 6th one. All right, so we're using 4, 5, and 6. Number 5 was for the Whisper White, and then these 2 were with the real red. Okay. So now let me show you what we're going to do with the Whisper White piece for the insert. All right, so now this is the inside part of the card. So we're going to go ahead and fold this in accordion style. Now one thing you're going to notice right here, this center piece is a little bit longer, and that's what it's supposed to be. This piece is going to be hidden behind this panel right here, okay? So now this is what your insert should look like after you folded it. And then remember to keep your little tab here on the back side. Okay? Okay, so you're gonna cut your flirty flamingo for each of your panels. like this. And then I'm using some of the designer paper. And then one of the Flirty Flamingo will use the Whisper White, well actually 2 panels, because we're going to stamp a greeting and then we're going to stamp a heart. Okay, so you're going to do this 6 times. Where you're going to cut 6 Flirty Flamingo and then 2 of the designer paper and then 4 of the Whisper White. And I'll have the measurements on the screen again for you. All right, so now I also have one of these already previously done, at least half of it, because we're going to finish it with you on screen today. So let me grab that panel piece. All right, so here is half of my panel that's done, and I'm going to finish this piece over here with you today. So this is my other sections. I'm going to add right here. We're going to do some stamping right here and right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some stamping while we finish this insert here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Memento ink. Now this is a stamp set I'm using, Heartfelt. This is in the 2020 mini catalog from Stampin' Up. And you can buy this stamp set individually from the punches. Okay, so but you can buy this in a bundle and save 10% when you purchase the heart punches along with the Heartfelt stamp sets. Okay, so we're going to grab my stamps. And I'm going to grab the Flirty Flamingo Classic ink and the Real Red. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp our heart first. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a photopolymer stamp set and this is a solid stamped image. So if you don't get a clear, crisp image when you're stamping it, try using it with your Stampin' Pierce mat. So I'm going to stamp this Happy Valentine's Day heart with the Flirty Flamingo Classic ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on Whisper White, making sure to put even pressure along the whole stamp image. And then I'm going to grab my solid heart with the straight edge. We're going to punch that out. Fits in there perfectly. Then I'm going to grab some Real Red cardstock and I'm going to punch out the scallop heart. Remember, this comes in a duo set and a punch set. These punches come in a set, so you get both of them together. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and layer these together. Pop this up on dimensionals. Okay, now this is just going to go on one of the Whisper White pieces right in the center. Then we're going to layer this onto the Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to layer this right in the center here of this third panel here. I'm going to lay it right here. Okay, and then the designer paper is going to go on another piece of the Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so now this end right here and this end. Now I don't know if you noticed this or not, but on this last panel right here, I added some tear and tape along the edge because this piece, I don't know, it's about 3/4 of an inch. I didn't actually quite measure it, but it gets tucked behind the actual window. So you're only going to use, or you're only going to be able to see just a section of this panel, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and layer these pieces together. I'm going to go ahead and put the tear and tape on this section before we stamp, so I have a visual. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and grab my tear and tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a strip along the edge. You can actually put 2 strips if you want. But I find 1 will probably be good enough. But just to add a little bit extra for mine today. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my designer paper. This is the section that's going to be in the center. Now this is also a funny edge here like this one, but this one is going to be shown on the outside edge. So remember, this is the bigger seam right here. This will all make sense when you're making the card, but you're going to make your border line on the outside edge of your insert. So you'll see that there's this big gap here, but see, it's going to be hidden in your card with this center section right here, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp our second greeting. So this is the one that I put on the front here, the front panel, From My Heart to Yours, and then I'm going to stamp Love You Lots. So I'm going to stamp this, and this is a photopolymer stamp set so you can see right where you're stamping. So Love You Lots, and then I'm going to stamp a cluster of little red, real red hearts, and this is in the same stamp set. And they're so adorable. Okay, all right, so let me close up the ink pads. Okay, before we close up the Flirty Flamingo, I gotta stamp another one for the front of the card. So let me go ahead and stamp another Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm gonna go ahead and punch this out, the heart punch. And this is one of the designs from the From My Heart designer paper. And I'm going to take the scallop edge and I'm going to punch out one of the Flirty Flamingo hearts. Just like that. And then these are the heart doilies. I'm going to grab a real red one this time. Put that on the back of these two layers here. Okay, so this is going to be for the front of my card. All right, now let's go ahead and close up the Flirty Flamingo. All right, now let's bring in our base of our card. So now how to arrange your insert. You're going to slide it through the center. And then you're going to put this one behind here. And then this one behind here. So you can see how this is going to look here. And you can see that you don't see that extra panel back here when the card is sitting up. Okay? All right, so now next we're going to go ahead and peel off our backing of our tear and tape on our sides of our panels here. All right, so I have the ends with the tear and tape taken off, the backing. Now we're just going to take one end. So what we're going to do is we're going to position it between this window here. So you have like an equal space on the top and the bottom, but yet your tear and tape is tucked in to the front of the card. Line that up, and I'm trying to keep the equal space, and of course keeping the tear and tape behind that panel right there, okay? And then we're going to scoot down to this end and do the exact same thing. So keeping it in the center of that rectangle shape, and then that tear and tape is going to be tucked in. You should have your score line inside that window frame too as well. Okay, so press that down, and then there's your card. So this should fold up like this. Okay. So you're going to see this here. This is where those red panels are going to come in handy because you're going to camouflage all of this. So then when you open it up, it looks like that. Isn't that awesome? I love this card. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the front really quick. Okay, so here's our front. Okay, so this is the Real Red 3/8 double stitch satin ribbon. Oh my goodness, say that 3 times fast. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay our card out somewhat flat so you can get an eyeball of how much ribbon you need to tie, making sure to leave enough at the ends so you can tie a bow. Let me grab my scissors. Okay, so we're going to add our front panel first. We're going to add dimensionals. So I'm just going to put dimensionals along the top and along the bottom, and then the ribbon is going to layer in the center between the dimensionals. So the ribbon just kind of floats around. Now remember, when you're adding your dimensionals, you got to think that you got a 1/4 of an inch border here. So you don't want your dimensionals to show around the edge, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and peel these off. Okay, so you're gonna put our front panel on here. This is going to be a little tricky because the card wants to open up. All right, so we're just going to layer this right over top of the front. Just the little border, just like that. Go ahead and feed this through here. There we go. All right. So now let's flip this over and put our back panel on. Let me put my dimensionals on. Okay, so here's our ribbon. Just gonna set that in between the dimensionals. And then here's my other back panel. So once again, you're just gonna layer that right over top the back panel, just like that. Okay, so then your card, when it sits up like this, you should have your ribbon on both sides. And then to close it, then you're just going to go ahead and tie it in a bow. But we're still not done. We're going to decorate it even more. So let me open it up. We're going to add some of the faceted little gems. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. And I really hope the camera catches all that sparkle and so beautiful. So I'm assuming there's 3 sizes in the 3 colors, the Flirty Flamingo, Real Red, and then the Whisper White. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some, like I did here to this heart one here, Happy Valentine's Day. So I'm going to add 1 of each color to the top with my multi-purpose liquid glue. And then 3 of the smaller ones in each of the corners. And this is where your take your pick tool, I found it. Take your pick tool comes in handy. So I'm going to put the larger ones along the top, and all I'm doing is I'm flipping it over because however I pick it up with my take your pick tool, I want the sparkly side to show out. So I can grab that with my take your pick tool and then set it right into the glue. So see, like I'm picking it up from the back side because that's how it is in the container. And then I'm setting it in the glue with the sparkly side facing up. And then the Whisper White one. So pretty. And then the little ones. Just adds a little awesomeness to this card. All right, and then for this one over here, From My Heart to Yours, I added the, let me see here, these are the Noble Peacock rhinestones. These have 5 colors, and then I'm using the pink just to kind of tie in the Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to add 3 of those rhinestones just randomly on this last panel like I did the other one. So pretty. And then, of course, I'll show you what I did for the front, but I won't keep you any longer. But I did add more faceted gems into the front, and I'll show you that one here in a second. But look how beautiful that is. Thank you, Sheila. I love the card. It's so amazing. So then it just closes up like this. And then once again, your ribbon is floating, so you can adjust the ribbon. I just like making sure it's the same on both sides. Then you just tie a bow. And the receiver will get such a surprise when they open up this card. It's absolutely beautiful. And y'all know I love the moving cards. I love it. And there's the front. Now let me show you what I did on the finished one. So I added the faceted gems up at the top. So I added a cluster of the 3 larger ones and then 3 of the smaller ones down there. But then the inside's the exact same thing. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll have all the items listed below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye.